All right, sorry about that, guys. We're having wireless issues back there, so I'm going to do it from out here. Okay, I've got Tasha here for you.
Hello.
Hey, Natasha. I was just gonna ask y'all. Your team as Team Oklahoma State started out shooting 0 for 8 from the field. How hard is it to shake a poor start from your mind when trying to mount a comeback?
Honestly, it's difficult when you start off slow. That's something we have to. That's just something we have to fix and practice and take serious in the games.
Do you think Baylor is the best defensive team that you guys have seen so far this year?
Honestly, no.
No. Who is? Or I'm curious. I thought that might be the case, but kind of what was the best defense team that y'all have seen this year?
I would have to say Iowa State.
Okay.
Because I never seen a team with like just 5 guards. So that's difficult for us because we're like 3 guards, 2 posts. So that's probably the most difficult team in our league so far.
Interesting. And my last question for you, Natasha, is Baylor went on a 14-0 run, kind of combined in the second and the third quarter. So I didn't really pick up on it. But it kind of put the game out of reach a little bit in my eyes. How deflating or frustrating is it when a team goes on a big run like that?
It's honestly very frustrating when they're scoring back to back and we can't get anything to fall. That's very frustrating for the team. It kind of just like puts us in the mood that we can't let affect our game.
No doubt. Well, thanks for the time.
Hey, Natasha, I only have one question for you. What kind of start to a half how does that impact the rest of the half? And is that something that you guys hammer extra in practice?
That's something we're probably gonna like hammer in practice. It's difficult when you start slow and try to pick it up. We need to come off the back starting strong and doing what we do best and not let anybody affect our game.
Natasha, I'm curious, taking a little bit of a step back here, what has it been like for you, in the locker room, in practice, over these last 3 games you guys have had?
It's been difficult because even though I get down, I can't let my teammates sit because their moves affects like my mood affects their mood. So I have to be uplifting, encouraging, no matter what.
Is that hard? Making person who's not, trying to be the Debbie Downer in the locker room.
Honestly, it's kind of hard at times, but then I remember that it's not just me. It's a team. We're a family. So we have to pick each other up.
And Tasha, is this the first, I guess, stretch of the season? You've kind of had that feeling these last 3 games that you've lost?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that last question?
Yeah, sorry, I just got the internet is unstable alert. No, is this the first time this season you've really noticed, like, a lot of people in the team kind of having that kind of mood where everyone's kind of, not very happy because of the way the games have been going recently?
Honestly, it's not the first time. This probably happened in our first 2 games. So it's just something we have to, like, really just get better at.
And my last question is, looking ahead now, because that's really the only thing you can do is just put this one, or really these last 3 games behind you. How long do you allow yourself to kind of dwell on these last 3 games before you move to K-State next game?
One day. So when the game ends, I have that one day to pout, get it out. Next day, it's over with. It's done. I can't do anything about it.
So you wake up tomorrow morning and you're good?
I'm good. Like, there's nothing I can do about it. You can only look forward and move forward.
Thanks very much.
Hey, Natasha, so I was just going to ask you about the start to the second half, and specifically, so Baylor started the second half on a 10-0 run, and can you talk just a little bit about how this set the tone for them in the second half and put this game out of reach a little bit?
When you go to a 10-0 run, that sets the tone for anybody. You get the energy, you pick it up, you just keep hustling. And honestly, it hurts us, but it's just something we have to get better at and stop.
Okay, cool. Thank you. And then my other question is just talking about the first half. Obviously, both teams started pretty slow. but y'all kind of failed to capitalize on Baylor's slow start, and it got the game going in the wrong direction. So can you talk just a little bit about y'all's failure to capitalize on Baylor's slower start?
Honestly, we both teams started slow. We let our anxiety get the best of us because of Baylor. When honestly, we could have did what we did best. We let them take us off our game.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
And is that all?
Anything else? You guys good?
I think so. Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh.
You need to be up.
Yes, sir.
You ready? Jump over here. Wireless wasn't working back there. I was having trouble, so. Sorry for the force tonight.
Hey, guys.
Yes.
Didn't start the ball game the way we wanted to start the game. Didn't start the second half the way we needed to start the game. I thought our kids played a little intimidated, lost some poise and composure. They've got some tough, experienced guards that took us out of our pace early. Thought we made some decent plays from the halfway point on in the third quarter and some in the fourth quarter, but we started the game missing 4 point blank shots from about 2 or 3 feet where we were open and just hurried. And Baylor does that to you at times. They're holding people to 29% field goal percentage and out rebounding people by 20. We just got to have a better belief in ourselves and play with more poise, hit little shots. It's hard to get open shots against them. And when you do, you've got to make your 2-footers.
Yeah, Coach, I was just going to ask about that a little bit. A season low in points, only by 1, but still a season low. So do you think Baylor is the best defensive team that you guys have played so far this year?
You know, they're very solid. When you have a D.D. Richards, number 2, that, in my opinion, is probably the best defensive player in the country. At 6'2", she can guard from a 1 to a 5. She sets the tone for them defensively, and they block a lot of shots. They play with high hands. They don't give you many second shots. So they've always hung their hat on playing great defense and rebounding the basketball. And it's a typical Baylor team in that respect.
And then my other question for you is there's a period that it kind of happened in both the second and the third quarter, but Baylor went on a 14-0 run that I kind of thought put the game out of reach. I think the deficit was 10 when it started, and then it kind of spiraled after that 14-0 run. How deflating or frustrating is it when a team goes on a massive run like that?
Well, it is. It's where you have some bad offensive possessions, or you don't block somebody off the boards. We did a decent job. The second chance points weren't that bad, but they hit some bad ones. But you know, we have some plays where we've covered some things that they do defensively, and we have lapses, and the scouts covered them, and we just have lapses, and you can't do that, and then we lose somebody and check out, or we foul somebody on a 3 shot, and those are plays that you cannot make against good teams. But I thought the biggest factor was we played with a lot of anxiety, and there wasn't a lot of surety in our game, and you can't do that against anybody in this league.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach, I got Natasha's take on this, as I'm sure you heard her talking, and I wanted to get yours. She said that after a loss, she allows herself one day to kind of dwell on it, and the next day she wakes up and she's on to the next game. How long is your, I guess, kind of period where you kind of think about this one?
Well, I still remember games that I lost 42 years ago, so it takes me a little longer to do that. But you've got to be able to turn the page. We got to go back and watch this tape and reflect on it, the things that we've got to improve, and then you've got to turn the page in a hurry. She's right. It's about a one-day process. I think you reflect on this as a coach tonight, and you turn the page and start getting ready for K-State tomorrow. But I just want to see our kids. I know we have some youth out there at times, but I want to see our kids play with a poise and surety, where they're sure of their play, and we got sped up way too much tonight, and there's just got to be a control in your game, and that's something we got to continue to work on.
How tough has this last 3-game stretch been on your team, especially all those young freshmen you have?
Well, you got off to a good start, 5-0, and then you lose. I thought we played pretty good at Iowa State, but you're not going to win games giving up 90. And then wasn't happy with what we did at all at West Virginia. And then tonight was a different type of problem about what pace you play at, them speeding you up, having a little anxiety, missing some 2-footers. So it was a different situation tonight, but our kids have got to grow in each experience, and we've got to have some other kids step up besides Jamie and Mac. And I think Mac will tell you that she missed a lot of little shots, and we missed shots to start the game, and we took some runners that were ill-advised shots, and it's about just we had way too many turnovers tonight. But when you couple that with some bad possessions where you take some bad shots and you don't run your offense, then you got a high rate of not being efficient offensively.
And I guess finally, I wanted to ask, you to take a little bit of a step back here, 8 games into conference play. Have you been happy with the way your team has developed and grown into the season so far?
I like our team. I think we make too many mistakes right now, and we got to get that corrected. But they've been coachable. There hasn't been one player that questions anything that we've asked them to do. They've been very connected as a group, and we're going to be fine. I mean, there are tough stretches in this league. Iowa State, everything's run pretty smoothly for them, and everything usually runs pretty smoothly for Baylor as well. But everybody else has gone through a tough stretch, and how you handle this adversity defines you. I mean, that's why I love basketball and I love athletics, because everything in life's not rosy, and you're going to have some bad days. And how are you going to handle the adversity, and how are you going to show your true colors and bounce back from being knocked down? And our kids have been knocked down 3 times, and we got to come and get ready to play against K-State, and it's a big ball game for us.
I appreciate your time today, Coach.
Thank you.
Anything else?
I was going to ask one quick question. So, Coach, obviously we've talked a decent amount about the starting of games, and starting strong is an obvious emphasis of yours, from what I understand. And both teams started pretty slow. Could you talk a little bit about how the Cowgirls started slow and how they didn't capitalize on Baylor's slow start? Because they were right with y'all for the first 5 minutes.
No, it was sloppy basketball. It was missed shots inside, and you just you can win a lot of games and lose a lot of games in the first 5 minutes of the game and the first 5 minutes in the second half, and that's what we did. There just wasn't any execution going on, or didn't recognize a lot of the things that we'd worked on to start the ball game and start the second half. But you've got to continue to get better on that, and that deals with confidence and experience and having a belief in yourself and your teammates. And we played cautious and we played unsure to start two halves, and that's not a good not a good formula for success.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.